Okay, so a transition is movement in the same direction. We're just changing between two different movements is all we're transitioning from. But it's not a back and forth this way. It is movements continuously in one direction. Once we've done all the way to the end of our distance, we come back and do the same thing the other way. I'll demonstrate with a couple rhythms here. Okay. A shuffle. Okay, and whether it's in your warm-up or if it's a speed exercise, that was obviously a warm-up intensity. I'm just moving with rhythm, fluidity, focusing on my mechanics as I move my feet and move my hips. I'm working, getting tall in my skip and dropping a little bit lower into my shuffle. I'll demonstrate a couple different movements here. Nice and bouncy. Okay, and you can play with a lot of these movements and intensities. Just dictate the movement based on your program. It'll say shuffle to sprint, or shuffle to skip, or shuffle to karaoke, or backpedal to crossover. Okay, you can set cones at every few yards, but a lot of times the simplest just to pick a 20-yard area or however long the distance is prescribed for, and switch movements every 3 or 4 yards. Okay, one more here. So a karaoke skip to a shuffle. Shuffle, karaoke skip one time, shuffle. Karaoke skip one time, shuffle. And again, if it's something that's in your speed, it will say the intensity should be higher and you're going all out. Okay. If it is for speed, the biggest thing we need to focus on when we transition, especially if we're transitioning into movement that is slower, like if I'm going from a sprint into a shuffle, we are not able to shuffle as quickly as we sprint. Okay, so you're inevitably going to slow down a little bit. And when you decelerate, the one thing we do not want to do is we do not want to heel strike the ground very aggressively and let our toes slap the ground, okay? So we don't heel strike and then slap, okay? We have what I call an active foot. So when we go from our sprint into our shuffle, my entire foot is in contact with the ground, okay? I'm not driving my heel. The heel might touch, it might not. We don't want to heel strike in either one of these movements, okay? It's a great way to avoid ACL injuries, other knee injuries, a lot of Achilles tears and stuff like that. It's poor training technique, okay? So when we transition out of our movement here, I'm going sprint into my shuffle. I don't heel strike into my shuffle, okay? And it's the same thing for other movements. If I'm going from a shuffle into a sprint, I don't heel strike roll, okay? I play with my entire foot and accelerate out of that transition really well, okay?